All right. I believe we are streaming. Fantastic. Hello, everybody. How's it hanging? While you're here, please leave a comment in the chat below. So you'll see a big chat box right below this video. Leave a comment if you are here right now. Let me know your name and where you're tuning in from. And let's make it a little exciting tonight. And let me know your favorite ice cream. Very important question. Your favorite ice cream. So my name's Melissa. I am tuning in, or I'm doing the workshop from Los Angeles. I'm in Santa Monica, California. And my favorite ice cream would have to be, I'm always into the nut flavors. So like almond, pistachio, all those are good. Rocky Road. I worked at a gelato store as my very first job. I stayed there for like 5 years. So I am well versed in all things ice cream. So it's a very important question in my household. So let me know where you're tuning in from, what your name is, and your favorite ice cream flavor. Very important question. And we're going to get started in just a second here. So if we have not met before, my name is Melissa Griffin. I am the host and the teacher of today's workshop. I'm a Pinterest fanatic, and I'm also just a fanatic about helping people to live their life on purpose and create a business and a blog that just feels exciting and fun and helps them create an impact in the world. So if I can do that today with today's workshop on how to grow your organic traffic, then I will consider it a job well done. So really passionate about that. I'm just so grateful to have you here this evening to be able to share some of the things that I know about growing an audience, making sales from your online programs and your services, and really just making that impact in the world. So I'm going to say a quick hello to some people who are tuning in right now, and then we're just going to dive right into the workshop. So it should go for about 75 to 90 minutes. I've got a lot of information that I want to share with you today. And then at the end, I'm also going to be doing a live Q&A. So if you've got any questions about how to grow your audience, how to get more traffic to your website, how to use Pinterest as a traffic growth tool, I am here to answer any and all questions that you might have for me. I'm going to be doing that at the end. So I'm actually going to turn the light on in my office because it's 5 o'clock here. And it's probably going to get dark pretty soon. So, all right. So I just want to say some hellos. We have Janet from Maine, and her favorite is chocolate. I can't disagree with that one. Jessica calling in from work. I love that. Team mint chocolate chip. That was always a popular one when I worked at the gelato store. Ooh, Madison from Chicago. You love Jenny's Splendid. That's actually one of my favorite ice cream places here in Los Angeles. Elaine from Silicon Valley. Love your Ben and Jerry's. I love Rocky Road too. We have Jimmy loves Chunky Monkey. All these ice cream flavors are hilarious, by the way. I actually love Chunky Monkey too. I think I just love all of them, if that is an answer. We have Ogechi from Ohio, or live in Ohio, but from Texas. Andrew from Washington. Hello, everybody. Ooh, Sherry, you just turned me back onto an old favorite, Jamocha Almond Fudge. That is one of my faves too. All right. Well, we're not going to talk ice cream forever. We're actually going to dive right into the workshop now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and share some slides with you. I'm just a visual learner. I know a lot of people are. So I like to package up all of my info into some slides to help just process that information even more and give you some really clear examples. So I'm going to share my screen and we will get started. And one thing that I should have mentioned too is I have some members of my team in the chat this evening. They are amazing and they're there to answer any questions that you have and also to collect your questions for the Q&A. So make sure that if you've got a question, something comes up, you're confused, you want to get clarity on something, type your question into the chat and we're going to have my team collect all your questions and then I'll answer them at the end of this presentation. And if anything goes awry, definitely put that into the chat too, and she will make sure to help you out with that. So without further ado, you are probably here to talk Pinterest and traffic growth, and specifically a few ways to use Pinterest to quickly grow your traffic and audience. So again, my name is Melissa Griffin, and thank you so much for showing up this evening. I'm really excited and honored to be able to teach you. So today, I'm going to be sharing a few of my favorite tips from my program, Pinfinite Growth. Now, you might have heard of this program. It's one of the most popular Pinterest marketing courses out there. And I'm actually polling directly from the course to share some of my favorite lessons from that program. And if you have any questions about Pinfinite Growth, I'm happy to answer those at the end too. Just pop those into the chat as well. So before we get into the info today, I want to lay some ground rules. So number one is put your phone out of reach. You don't want to get distracted with phone calls, Instagram, or all the things. So make sure that you are here and present with tonight's workshop. I also recommend closing out of your other browsers or programs on your computer, because blending other browsers and programs with a live video workshop like this is a recipe for disaster, a recipe for a blurry video, sound that cuts in and out, or just not the best viewing experience. So if you close out of everything else, then you should be able to watch this video just fine. And of course, take a notepad out and get ready to get your learning on, because I have a lot that I'm going to share with you. I'm really excited. Now, you are in the right place this evening if you want to grow your traffic and start attracting more of the right people to your site. You're also in the right place if you want clear, actionable strategies that help you turn that traffic into lifelong subscribers and an engaged audience. You really want those people to just stick around for years and years to come. You're in the right place if you'd love to have an audience that eats up your content, opens your emails, and buys your products. How amazing would that feel to have thousands of people in your community that did all of the above, that just went crazy every time you posted a new blog post or came out with a new product? You're in the right place if you want to grow your email list and audience efficiently and effectively so that you can focus on other parts of your business. I don't know if you are anything like I was, but I spent all of my time when I was starting my business to get people to my website. I felt like most of my business was just like getting people to come and read my blog post so that they could hire me. Less time was spent actually creating the things that I was selling, and more of it was just like getting people to my site in the first place. So you probably want to be able to make that process more efficient too, and just get people to your site on autopilot so you can get back to doing some other things that you enjoy doing. Now, stay tuned until the end of this workshop. I'll tell you about how you can get a free Pinterest audit and laser coaching session with us. So I'm going to be giving these away for free if you stick around until the end. So make sure, stay to the end, and I'll tell you how you can get that. So if we haven't met, my name is Melissa Griffin. I'm going to be your teacher for today. I am somebody who just loves helping other people learn the techniques and strategies and skills behind starting and growing their own online business. I am passionate about helping other people monetize their own passions. I used to be a school teacher, and then I just decided to start teaching in another realm online with people like you. So thank you for allowing me to do what I love. I hope I can help you do the same. Now, my Pinterest trainings have been featured in some places that you might be familiar with, like Inc., Entrepreneur, and Forbes. I'm also part of Pinterest Creator Collective, where I have access to Pinterest's team to ask for algorithm updates, to get any new changes to the platform, and really just to have a first name basis with members of their team. And of course, I am the creator of a program called Pinfinite Growth. To date, we've had almost 8,000 people go through my Pinterest system and get some pretty amazing results from this course. So I want to know if you can relate. So 5 years ago, my job and life left me feeling a little funky. I wasn't feeling great at the time. It was right around when I was starting my business 5-6 years ago. So I want you to type in the chat a big YES. Type yes in the chat if you can relate to any of these statements. So I felt like I wasn't utilizing my full potential. I knew that I was meant for more. And now at the time, I was a school teacher teaching high school. And I loved teaching, but it just didn't feel like I was utilizing my full potential. There was something missing. So if you ever feel that way in your job right now, please type yes into the chat so I can recognize you. It also left me feeling really lonely and disconnected from my people. I didn't feel like I was meeting the kinds of people that I wanted to be meeting. I was looking for creative people, people who had similar interests, but I just wasn't finding my people. I was also depressed. It was one of the most depressed points in my life, just depressed to wake up another day doing something I knew I didn't love. Every time the alarm would go off at 6 a.m. in the morning, I just felt like, darn it, just really upset, really sad to have to go and spend my time doing something that just was not fulfilling me. So I'm seeing a lot of yeses in the chat. And I want you to know, like, I feel that. I feel that in my heart right now because I was completely there too and completely get what that's like. So thank you for typing yes in the chat. And I just want you to know that I see you and I appreciate you for being here. And just, I'm proud of you for actually taking the time to work on your dreams so that you don't have to be a yes in the chat a year from now or a few months from now. So it was around that time that I decided to start a business. Now, it was just going to be this thing that was going to help me find a community of people with similar interests to me, and hopefully make a little bit of side cash because, as we know, teachers don't get paid that much money. So I wanted to make a little side cash, wanted to find some people who are interested in similar things, but never really thought that this would become a full-fledged business, never thought it would be full-time. So I started a blog online, and pretty soon people were really interested in my blog. And I got really into blogging. It was my favorite thing to do. And so eventually I decided to start selling graphic design services to my blog readers because design had always been a huge passion of mine. So as I was growing this graphic design business, I was getting some clients who wanted to hire me. But what I found was that if I wanted to grow that graphic design business, I had to spend most of my time on marketing, creating blog content, writing posts for social media, doing all the things to put my name out there just so that people could discover me and then eventually hire me as a graphic designer. So it felt like I was spending 80% of my time trying to get people to hire me, and then only had 20% of my time left to actually finish the work that I needed to do for my clients. It wasn't sustainable, and I knew that something had to change if I ever wanted to really grow my graphic design business. So I had this business, but things were far from perfect. Eventually, I was able to quit my job as a teacher and do my business full time, but it was still tough because I was spending so much time on this new business trying to get people to my website in the first place. So I started experimenting with different platforms. I was experimenting on social media. I was experimenting with Pinterest. And it was around that time that I started to discover the power of Pinterest, how much it was able to bring people to my website with such little effort on my part. I felt like I had just like stumbled upon some crazy thing and didn't know why no one else was talking about Pinterest, because this was 5 or 6 years ago when Pinterest wasn't really a popular thing at the time. So I started experimenting with it, getting these amazing results. And I decided to create a program about Pinterest to see if it worked for other people too. And lo and behold, everyone that signed up for my Pinterest program was getting the same types of results that I was. So I felt like I just stumbled upon this magical cure to getting people to my website, to getting the word out about my content, about who I was, about my business, without having to take that 80% of time that all of my other strategies were taking in the past. So as I started using Pinterest, my traffic to my website tripled. My email list also grew rapidly. So before Pinterest, my email list was stagnant for like 6 to 12 months at around 2,000 people. And then A year after using Pinterest, it had grown to 35,000 people on my email list. And then a year after that, it had grown to 100,000 people, which is insanely fast. And a lot of it is due to how much traffic, how many new visitors Pinterest was sending to my website on a daily basis. And of course, this all affected my income too, because if you're getting a lot of traffic and you're growing your email list, you should be making some money from that. So my income grew by 700%, which is insane to even tell you. We had our first $1 million year just about 18 months after I started using Pinterest more strategically. So it affected every single part of my business and ultimately my life too. And now one of my favorite things that Pinterest has helped me to do is that with all of that growth, with all of that abundance that it was bringing to my life, it allowed me to donate and fundraise over $150,000 for charities that I adore, organizations that build schools in developing countries, animal sanctuaries here in Los Angeles, things that I really care about and want to give back to. It's helped me to be able to do that. So Pinterest grew my traffic, my email list, and my income on autopilot. Now, for you, Pinterest might mean more time to make memories with your kids, your family, and your friends, less time behind a computer screen, and more time with those people that you love. For you, it also might mean more consistent income each month instead of having to hustle for every dollar that you make. And a community that sees value in what you offer and gives your life more purpose. So I can tell you that I experienced every single one of these things too, especially having more purpose in my life. So with all that said, my goal today isn't actually to teach you about Pinterest. I know, crazy, right? I just talked a whole lot about Pinterest. But my goal today is actually a little bit different. My goal looks a little something like this. I know that there are people out there in the world whose lives would be changed if only they knew that you existed. If only they knew that you existed, their lives would be changed. So my goal for you today is to help you use Pinterest to get those people out there in the world to discover you. Because if they find you, then something's going to click for them. Something is going to change. So I want to help you get the word out about your brand and your website so that you can change lives too. But before we dive into the strategies and the techniques that I want to share with you, we got to talk about some Pinterest myths. These are some myths that I hear a lot about Pinterest, and they're just not true. And I feel like they could be holding you back from getting really spectacular results on this platform. So myth number 1 is that Pinterest is just for recipes, DIY projects, and women. Not true, actually. So virtually every niche and industry is represented on Pinterest. And if you could see the types of students we have in Pinfinite Growth, like I told you, we have almost 8,000 people who've gone through that program. You would see that virtually every niche and industry is represented. We have such a diverse array of people and businesses inside that program. Now, there are over 300 million users on Pinterest and 175 billion pins on the platform. So you could imagine how many different types of content there are. And according to Business Insider, millennials use Pinterest as much as Instagram. Very popular. Now, in case you're thinking, well, what kinds of niches would work on Pinterest? Here's a little snippet of some uncommon ones that you might not expect on Pinterest, but that are actually doing really well on the platform. There are pins about gardening. I actually just started a vegetable garden, and I am realizing now that I used Pinterest to get advice on how to start my vegetable garden. There are pins about crystals, pins for equestrians, pins about CrossFit, pins for Bible study, pins about business and marketing, pins about Cabo San Lucas, and so many more. This is just a small little sampling of some of the perhaps lesser known types of content that you can find on Pinterest. So the reality is that if you are not on Pinterest, your competitors will be, no matter which niche you're in, no matter matter what you sell, no matter what you talk about, Pinterest can help you. Now, myth number 2 is that Pinterest is a social media platform like Instagram and Facebook. That's actually not true either. So, Pinterest is not a social media platform. I want you to think, when was the last time you were social on Pinterest? So, when I go on Instagram, I'm leaving comments on my friends' graphics. I'm doing Instagram stories. I'm responding to direct messages. I'm being social. It's a community building platform. But on Pinterest, social doesn't really matter so much. You don't really leave comments. You don't really send messages to people. It's more like a search engine. It's just like how Google or YouTube operate. Those are both search engines. They just operate in slightly different ways. But the foundation and the strategy that you would use is roughly the same on all of those platforms. So this means that most people are just using Pinterest the wrong way and are seeing subpar results because of it. So you might be one of those people who kind of thought that they knew how to use Pinterest. It is an intuitive platform in terms of just how to use it as a regular user. You go on, you pin things, you look at things, you click on it. It's easy. So people assume that they know how to use Pinterest. They think, well, I could just upload pins every now and then and I'll get good results. But that's actually not how it works. You have to have a good strategy behind it, and you have to use it like a search engine in the way that you optimize your profile and your pins. That's really important. Now, we're going to talk more about this later inside of this workshop, but I just want to throw it out there right now in case you're like, whoa, mind blown. Didn't know that. Myth number 3 is that Pinterest has never worked for me. So I don't think it works for people in my industry. I do hear this sometimes. And again, this is busted. So it ain't quit time yet, my friends. Now, because Pinterest is an online platform, roughly every year, they introduce some new changes. Now, you might be using outdated strategies that led to poor results, and you might not even know it. I think that's kind of the downside of Pinterest, or the downside for Pinterest, because people read a blog post from 3 years ago that they found online and think that that's how you use Pinterest today. But because Pinterest is always changing and being updated, it's really important that you have a good source where you can get the most up-to-date Pinterest information. Now, I've seen Pinterest work for over 7,000 students in 100 plus niches. So I do know that it will work for you and your industry too. So what you're going to learn today is why you're being a hoarder on Pinterest and how to become a strategic curator instead, which is just going to lead to more traffic and sales for you and your business. You'll also learn some mistakes that you're making on your website and why they're costing you big time results, why Pinterest is far from a social media platform. We're going to dive deeper into that, and how understanding this simple fact can help you to skyrocket your results. And I am serious about that. That is really important. So we're going to talk all about this in the second step in this workshop. How to turn that new Pinterest traffic into an exponentially growing email list for free. So this is going to be our third step in this workshop, really important point. And of course, how Pinterest tripled my traffic and grew my email list to 10,000 subscribers in only 4 months. Who's ready? Let me know in the chat. Type a big yes into the chat if you are ready to get started and dive into this material today. I'm just going to take a quick sip of water. And we're ready to go. Let's do this. All right. So I had to throw in this totally unrelated photo of my dog because it is just so freaking cute. This is on his 6th birthday last year, turning 7 later this year. I'm really sad about it. But anyways, step number 1 is to become a curator and not a hoarder. So a lot of people on Pinterest are hoarders. It's kind of like that show. I actually have never seen the show, but the one where they have hoarders, I think it's on MTV or something. And you walk into their house and they have like 17 coffee makers and 3 fridges and tons of boxes everywhere. A lot of people's Pinterest profiles are a lot like that, where you go into their Pinterest profile and it's like 200 pins about travel, 30 pins with cute animal photos, 17 pins about photography. And then you're going on their profile and thinking, what are they all about? I don't really get it. I don't get it. And you want your people, the people that you're trying to attract, to really feel instead like when they stumble upon your Pinterest profile that they have just found the perfect place for them. So instead, you need to curate things that attract your target audience. Now, Pinterest is about them, your target audience, that person that you're trying to attract to your Pinterest and ultimately to your website, to your products, to your email list. Who is that person? So instead of defining your audience as a group of people, I think it's a lot easier to think of just one person that you're trying to attract. I think it becomes this kind of difficult ball game when you're thinking, okay, who is my ideal audience? And you're trying to think this like big stadium of people. No, that's really hard because those are a lot of different types of people that you would have to be catering to. Instead, I find that it works better to just think of one single person. And this person is going to be your focus with your blog and business. Now, it really helps if you know someone, whether it's a friend, a family member, even somebody who's in your community right now, or maybe somebody that you know online, someone who is your target audience, that one person who is a perfect fit for the types of content you create, the types of things that you sell, the things that you have knowledge in, the things that you talk about. Who is that one person? And I want you to actually think of them in your mind, that single person. And if you have someone in mind, type their name into the chat right now. Let me know what their name is, because that is the person that moving forward, you are going to have in the back of your mind with every single thing that you create. It'll have this like filter in your brain now, where every time you want to create a blog post or a course or a service, you can ask yourself, would Sally like this? Would Sally be interested in this? Whoever your person's name is. And it's just a really great filter to remind yourself if what you're creating is something that's going to be an ideal fit for your audience. So curate your Pinterest to attract this one person. This is really important. So get rid of the 200 travel pins if you're not a travel website. Get rid of the 17 cute animal photos if you're not an animal rescue. And really curate your Pinterest account to attract that one single person. So I have a little formula for you, and it is your passion and your talents plus how you can help or serve people equals your focus. Yes, this is a super scientific formula. So your passion, what you're passionate about, plus what you're talented or skilled in, plus how you can use that to help or serve people is your focus. So I know that some of you watching this right now might be feeling a little nervous or think, well, I have a lot of things that I like talking about, or I have a lot of things that I like to sell or create products on. You're going to have an easier time if you start out more focused on something more specific. And then as you start to gain traction and a lot of momentum, then is when you start to broaden your focus to include those other topics. So what I would recommend is using this formula to figure out a more specific focus now, and then you can broaden it in the future. So try this. On your piece of paper, I want you to create 3 columns labeled my passions, my talents, and how I can help people. And I would wait until after the workshop to fill out your 3 columns, but in those columns, make a list of as many things as you can think of. Don't try to limit yourself with what you're doing right now online. Actually, just list out anything that comes to mind. And what you're going to see is there's going to be some overlap, especially between your passions and your talents. So I want you to take a look at what is the overlap? What's the intersection between what you're passionate about, what you care deeply about in your life, what you feel like you're meant to do, what your purpose is, plus what you're actually skilled in, what do you have talent in? And see the intersection between those 2 things. And then you can start to get creative and think about how could I use that intersection between those 2 things to help people? So for me, my very first business was a graphic design agency. So I was really passionate about design. I still am. I love design. And I was pretty talented in it too. It was not something that I had done professionally up until that point, but I was always the person, if there was a club or an organization or when I was a teacher, if anything ever needed to be designed, I was the person who did it. I designed all the shirts, the brochures, the handbooks, all that type of stuff. So I knew that I was talented in it and I was passionate about it. And so when I started my graphic design agency, I realized that I could use that passion and that talent to help people who are starting their own business and needed a new website. So you want to get specific about how you can use that intersection to help people. What's the overlap? So do this activity after this workshop today. It's going to be really helpful for you. Now, let me say it again, that your focus is so important because it will set you apart. Now, having a strong focus and a clear audience will make your work more memorable, more shareable, and more profitable. Because if you've ever been to a website where you saw one of their articles on Pinterest or Google and you thought, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I love this blog post. This is so helpful. And then you clicked around to the rest of their website and they had tons of other content or tons of other products. Maybe you originally came to their site because you loved one of their products. But you went around their website, looked at everything else, and then realized they actually don't talk about that thing or they don't sell that thing very much. They don't have content that's similar to that blog post you originally read, or they don't have products that are similar to that one that made you come to their website in the first place. They have a ton of other stuff, but it's not really geared towards you. But instead, if you had gone to a website where, let's say that you clicked a pin on Pinterest for a product that you were super interested in, and then you went to their website and they had tons of other products, just like the one that you originally loved, wouldn't you be more likely to share it, to buy something, to remember that website, to bookmark it? I know I would. So it's really helpful to have a focus, because when that target person, that person that you wrote down, whose name you have in the back of your mind, when they come to your site, they are going to fall in love. So this is a really important step. This is a comment on my blog that I got from someone named Allison. And she said, I've had my blog for 5 years with very little growth due to a muddied focus. Then back in March, I decided to really hone in on its focus and purpose. And it has grown like quite literally 1,000% in the past few months. So this is just another testament to how much having a clear focus and that clear person you're trying to attract can really help you to grow your business and your blog. So your homework is to figure out where your biggest passion and talent intersects with how you can help your audience, and then get specific about what you offer. You can also think about, what 5 words do you want to be known for? What 5 words do you want to be known for? How do you want people to feel when they come to your website? Make a list of 5 different words. Things you want to be known for. Maybe it's a topic, or maybe it's a feeling that you want to give people. And then answer this: what do I want to be the go-to hub for? What do I want to be the go-to hub for? What do I want to be known for? What specific impact do I want to create? So answer that question too, because that's really going to help to guide how you set up your entire Pinterest profile, your pins, and ultimately everything that you share on Pinterest. All right, you with me? We are on step 2. Pinterest is a search engine. My favorite things to talk about. So let's compare search engines and social media sites. So for social media, it's more about personal content, about your life and your opinions. Now, on social media, your number of followers is also pretty important. But on a search engine, informational content that helps solve a problem for your target audience is the most important thing. It's not really about personal content or your opinions. It's more about informational content. And followers are much less important than your search results. So what is the cornerstone of getting great traffic from a search engine? You use something called keywords. Now, you do this on Google all the time. Now, I'm sure everyone who is in here right now has used Google before. Google is one of the largest search engines in the world, and Pinterest operates in much the same way. So every time you go on Google and you search for something, you're typing something into their search bar, and the thing that you type into the search bar those are keywords. That's a keyword or a phrase that you are typing in. So the same thing happens on Pinterest, where if you go to the search bar, you type something in, those are keywords. And what you can do as a now strategic Pinterest user is to utilize those keywords in your content and your pins so that you're able to get those people who type that phrase into Pinterest to come to your pins and your website. Make sense? All right. So now where most people go wrong with this is that they think that pinning beautiful images is enough, but it's just not. So it's a good thing to pin beautiful images onto Pinterest. It is a visual search engine, but it's not enough at all. So this is where a lot of people go wrong is they think if I design a beautiful image that's vertical, it's got text, it's got a pretty photo, then people will come to visit my website. But unfortunately, it just doesn't work that way. So Pinterest might be a visual platform, but without keywords, no one will find your pins and website in the first place. Now, what is a keyword? If you've never heard this term before, or you need a little refresher. Well, it is a word or phrase that someone would be searching for to find your article or website. It's just literally the thing that someone would type into a search engine platform. Now, what kinds of keywords is your target audience searching for? It's a good question to ask yourself. Now, why keywords are important is that Pinterest is a search engine. So this is one of the biggest ways that your pins are going to be found on this platform. And if your pins are found, they're more likely to get saves and traffic to your website. So of course, we want your pins to pop up first in those search results. It's basically the same thing as if you type something into Google and those first few articles that pop up in the search results. That's what we want to make happen with your Pinterest as well. So that whenever somebody searches for something on Pinterest, your pins pop up in those first search results. Now, you also want to use something called long form keywords. Now, long form keywords are generally phrases that are 3 or more words long. So, using long form keywords adds specificity to the keywords you're targeting so that you're not competing with super general terms like skincare or health or fitness or design. Those are just too general. Not only are they extremely competitive because so many people probably use words like that, but they're also just not that specific, meaning that you might not be attracting your ideal customer or client or subscriber. You might just be attracting people who are interested in a very general term. So, for example, let's say that you talk all about skincare for people who have rosacea. Well, if you only use the keyword skincare, then you might be attracting people who are looking for acne skincare or anti-aging skincare. And you're not going to be attracting those people who are into that specific topic about skincare for people with rosacea. Now, you want to do some keyword research. We're not just going to be making up the keywords that you use or just kind of assuming that we know which ones to use. You actually need to do a little bit of research, but it's very easy and quick and kind of fun, to be honest. So ultimately, you want keywords that are specific, relevant to your business and your content, and aligned with what your target audience is searching for. But how do you know what they're searching for? How do you know what keywords you should use? Well, meet Pinterest built-in keyword research tool. So if you go onto Pinterest, this is what it looks like when you're searching for something. So you can see right here at the top, I typed in my search term, which is my keyword. I typed in skincare, and then I hit enter. And now, really cool, what you can see is that right below that search term, all of these other terms popped up. Those weren't there before. So I hit enter and all those other terms popped up. So now you can see below it says acne, routine, products, advertising, tips. Now those are all suggestions from Pinterest to make your search more specific. It's pretty cool, right? Well, even better is that your keyword suggestions are in order of popularity or competition. So, what that means is that those first 5 to 10 words that pop up are going to be very popular and competitive. So, the latter terms are going to be less competitive, less popular. We're going to talk about what that means for you. But instead of just skincare, you can combine it with those terms that pop up underneath your search term to create long form keywords like acne skincare, skincare routine, skincare products, skincare tips, anti aging skincare, DIY skincare, natural skincare, skincare for dark spots, skincare for teens. So, those were all terms that popped up below my original search term just to make it more of a long form keyword. So, very groovy tool that they have. So let's talk about low versus high competition keywords. So some long form keywords, remember those are 3 or more words, are more popular and therefore they have more competition. So sometimes we think that more popular is somehow better, but not in this case, because if you're using really popular keywords, then guess what? So are a lot of other people. So you don't want to have to compete with all of those other people. And instead, what you could do is target less popular keywords. So let's look at this in action. So you can see that around that blue outline, those keywords are some of the highest competition keywords. And just to be clear, I wouldn't use just those words by themselves as the keyword. It would be combined with your original search term. So it would be like acne skincare, skincare routine. You probably get the idea. But those are your highest competition, highest popularity, things that a lot of people are talking about, keywords that are being used a lot on Pinterest. But over here, and as you even scroll to the right, you can see that little arrow on the right. Those are more low or medium competition keywords. So those would actually be perhaps better for a lot of people to use than the really high competition keywords. So, which one should you target? Well, if you have less than 1 million monthly impressions on Pinterest, then I would target lower competition keywords. Now, those would be after I would say 10 to 15 keywords on that little bar below your search term. Those are going to be the most popular. So after the first 10 to 15, those are going to be more medium or low competition keywords that you can target. So that's what I would go after if you have less than 1 million monthly impressions on Pinterest. Now, if you have more than 1 million monthly impressions on Pinterest, then you can target those higher competition keywords where the first 10 to 15 that pop up, those are ones that you can consider targeting. Now, the best place to use your keywords after you've done all this research is inside of your pin descriptions. So, your pin description keywords are going to be right around here. So, in your feed, this is what a pin looks like. When you click on the pin, then you see all this information. And down at the bottom is your pin description. That's where you're going to add your keyword phrases so that you can get that search engine juice, get the people who are searching for that term to visit your website. So this is your pin description. That's where you're going to put your keywords. So when you zoom in on a pin, you can see the full description. Now, for your pin descriptions, you want to add keywords and hashtags to your description in sentence format. So what I do is I add my keywords in sentences. I write a few sentences about the pin, and then I just add a few hashtags at the end, just hashtag word, hashtag word, hashtag word. So you want to think, what would your target audience be searching for in order to find your pin? What would they be searching for? And make a list of a few different things, just real quick. And then you can do some research on those words and come up with your perfect keywords and then incorporate them into your pin description. So what I would do is try to add 5 to 10 keywords within your sentences for your pin description, and then 3 to 5 hashtags at the end of your description paragraph. So for example, if you sell bohemian jewelry, let's say that this is your pin image on Pinterest with these necklaces. Here's a little description that I wrote for it. So it says, looking for a bohemian necklace to add style to your next music festival outfit, blah, blah, blah. You kind of get the picture. But all of the bolded words are keywords. and keyword phrases. So you notice that most of them are 2 or 3 words long. So we're making them a bit longer than just a single word. So all of those bolded words would be my keywords. And then at the end, I've got some hashtags that I'm using as well. Or let's say that you blog about getting out of debt. Well, here is a blog post pin that I got off of Pinterest. And then I wrote this description that I would use for my pin description. So it starts with, in 1 year, I paid off $20,000 of debt. And now I'm sharing the top 10 habits to help you get out of debt too. So again, all of those bolded words are the keywords in this case. So get out of debt, pay off debt, financial challenges, budgeting tips, financial planning advice. And then again, at the end, I've got a bunch of different hashtags that I would throw in at the end. Now, there is a way to do hashtag research as well to make sure that you're using the right hashtags. We don't have time to go into that today, but keep that in mind too, that doing some research on your hashtags is only going to help you get better results as well. Now, keywords start with your content title. Now, when pinning blog posts, articles, or products, the title of your content is even more important than the keywords you use on Pinterest. So you have to ask yourself, is it optimized so that people searching for this topic will easily find your pin? And does it include keywords right inside the title that Pinterest can easily see? And this applies whether you're writing a piece of content like a blog post or whether you're selling products on your website. So it doesn't matter if it's a piece of content or a product, you want to make sure the title has keywords in it as well. So great titles for content are things like 7 ways to, or 6 things you should know about, or how to do, how I created, the step-by-step guide to, basically anything that is a list post or a how-to post. Very enticing, especially on Pinterest. And most importantly, your blog content should solve a problem in some way. So you want to make sure that every blog post that you publish has a takeaway. What's the problem you're solving? Even if it's a really small problem, it doesn't have to be like this huge life-changing thing. It could be a really small problem, like what to wear to a wedding as a guest, right? So it's still a problem that you're solving through your blog content. Now, if you sell something like physical products or you have an e-commerce store, again, you want to have titles for your products. So use descriptive language for your products that covers what it is. So what is this thing? What's it used for? And what the benefits are. So as much of those things that you can answer in the product title is just going to be really helpful for you. So here is a product that I found on Etsy. And you can see right here is their product title. So they didn't say like beautiful gold necklace. That might work too, but they actually just added a lot of keywords into their product title. So it says personalized layered necklace, gift for mom, engraved bar necklace, birthstone, simple layering necklace, bridesmaid necklace. So they're answering the questions of what it is, what's it used for, and making sure that they're incorporating those keywords into their product title, because Pinterest is going to pull that title as well. And that's just going to add to your keyword optimization that you have on the platform. All right, we're rocking and rolling. We are on step number 3, turning your traffic into subscribers and sales. So we've covered a lot already. We've talked about honing in on your focus, who that person is that you're trying to attract, using search engine optimization and keywords to really make a difference on Pinterest. So you're going to start getting some traffic to your website from Pinterest. Well, what do you do with that traffic? How do you turn those new visitors into subscribers and sales? Because that's probably what we're all really here for. It's great to grow a community, fantastic actually, but you have to make a living from it somehow too. So how do you turn that into subscribers and sales? Well, first you create clear paths. Now, when someone arrives on your site from Pinterest, what the heck happens next? What do you want them to do once they get to your website? Now, ideally, you should encourage them to subscribe to your email list. So ask them to subscribe to your email list. And nowadays, Having an email list is crucial if you want to grow an online business. It's just such an important facet to having an online business, making money from what you do online. It's something that I think every business owner should have. Now, why is an email list important? Well, here are 3 reasons. Number 1 is that you own it. So technically, you don't own your following on social media. It's kind of a scary thing where you can have tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of followers on social media, but you don't own that platform. Instagram could shut down tomorrow if they wanted to. They could change their algorithm and make your posts really hard for people to find. If you have heard of a platform called Vine, Vine was really popular a few years ago and people had millions of followers on that platform. They built big communities, but then one day Vine shut down. And what do you think happened to all those followers that those people had? They definitely didn't have any way to contact them again. They were just hoping probably to get those followers to follow them somewhere else. But if you have a lot of followers on one platform, they're not necessarily going to follow you to some other platform. They're not going to know that that platform is shutting down. So it's really important to remember this, that you don't own your following on social media. Those social media platforms own your following. But with an email list, you do own your email list and it cannot be taken from you. I can literally go into my email service provider right now and download a spreadsheet of every name and email address that we have in my community. I can't do that with Instagram. I can't even download a list of the usernames of people who are following me on Pinterest. So this is huge that you actually are able to do this with an email list. Number 2 is that an email list is going to equate to more sales and income. So email has way higher conversion rates than social media. For a social media post, the conversion rate is 2 to 3%. So 2 to 3%, or the engagement rate, I should say, is 2 to 3%, meaning that if you post something on Instagram, a good engagement rate is 2 to 3% of the number of people who follow you. That's not very many people, right? But for an email, the average engagement rate, the average number of people who open your emails, who click on something, is often between 20 to 50%. So I don't know about you, but 20 to 50% sounds a heck of a lot better than 2 to 3%. Now, if you post the same offering on your Instagram and in an email, you are going to get the highest percentage of buyers from your email, guaranteed. It just has a way higher conversion rate. It's more built for sales, in my opinion. So if you want to make money online, you want to grow a business, to impact people in a bigger way, email is the place to do it. Now, don't get me wrong, I do still like social media and I use it myself, but I don't think of it as a platform that's going to make the bulk of my sales for my business. That's where email comes into play. And lastly, email is more personal. So a person's inbox is like their virtual home. When I give somebody my email address, I feel like I'm giving them my phone number. But if I give someone my Instagram username, it doesn't feel as like sacred to me, as private, I guess I should say. So it really means something when somebody invites you into their virtual home, somebody gives you their virtual phone number. Now, it allows you to connect in a deeper way and build a tribe of lifelong fans. So when you get an email from somebody, it's really like they wrote it for you versus a social media post where it's just blasted to the masses. Now, Pinterest grew my list by 10,000 new subscribers in just 4 months. Now, just a few years later, my list grew to over 200,000 subscribers with Pinterest help. So I know that this works. I know that Pinterest can really help you too. So here is what I recommend to grow your email list with Pinterest. Now that we're all clear on why your email list is important and why you should be growing it. Well, what I recommend is add an opt-in form to the top of your site. So you can see here on Elizabeth Ryder's website, she has 2 areas where you can opt in. They both lead to the same place. One is a free updates button in her navigation menu, and one is a button to download a copy of her free ebook. but they're both ways for you to opt into her email list. And she's giving away something for free in exchange for your email address. That is called a lead magnet or an opt-in incentive. And it's a great way to grow your email address. But something you'll notice is that you don't have to scroll down before you see 2 places to opt in to her email list. You don't have to scroll down. That's the huge thing here is you want to add an opt-in form to your header. This is on Nicole Walters' website, and you can see, again, before you ever have to scroll down, she has sign up for the Rich Friend email club where you can put in your name and email address and subscribe. So again, really great idea to do that before anyone has to scroll down. This is called above the fold. So above the fold, you put in an opt-in form. And then over here, we have Simple Green Smoothies, and they have this slider at the top of their website where you can join their free challenge. Now, if you click on that, it's going to take you to this opt-in form. So again, you can join the challenge if you give them your name and email address. So all of these people are doing something so well, and it's putting an opt-in form in the header of their website. Now, for my own case study, adding an opt-in form to the header of my website doubled the amount of daily subscribers I received. My traffic didn't even change. Literally, though, number of people I had subscribing to my site doubled overnight just by adding an opt-in form to the header of my website. It was pretty game-changing and such an easy thing to do. I also made my messaging much more clear. So I got really clear on that one single person that I was trying to attract. And I made sure my opt-in forms, my Pinterest, and my website as a whole was catered to that specific person. So new visitors knew what I'm all about, and they immediately see my opt-in forms. So growing your list with blogging can be great. You can also create a lead magnet and add it straight into your blog content. And new visitors from Pinterest will then see your lead magnet when they read your content. So what this looks like is, say this is my Pinterest feed where all these different pins are. Now let's say that somebody sees this pin in their feed and they decide to click on it. Well, then that post is going to lead them to a blog post with an opt-in form and a freebie in it. So you can see here, I've got this little opt-in form right inside of my blog post. So if they click on that, it's going to lead them to an opt-in form where they can put their name and their email address, and they get my freebie, my lead magnet, and then I get a name and an email address. So this is a great process that you can use on your website as well. So once you've got some subscribers, then what do you do? Well, remember that these people are your biggest fans. People who subscribe to your email list are your biggest fans. So make sure to stay in touch with them. What I recommend doing is prioritizing your email list every week, sending an email to your subscribers every single week. And most weeks, you're not going to be selling anything. You're not going to be pitching something. You're just going to be giving free value and communicating with your subscribers to build that community. And then when you do have a sale or a launch, or you just want to make some side cash, you can send an email to your subscribers letting them know about your products. Now, for me personally, 82% of my company's income or revenue comes from sales made through our email list. So I know that it is a really important asset to any business out there. Now, remember, your goal on Pinterest is not just to get people to your website. Traffic is great, but it's what you do with that traffic that really counts and makes the difference. So again, my recommendation is to use your new traffic from Pinterest to get people to sign up for your email list and eventually to buy your products and services. So here's again how your Pinterest system all works together. You start by using Pinterest to get free traffic to your website. Those new visitors subscribe to your email list, and those subscribers turn into a community and income. But now you might be asking, well, what about things like Tailwind? Or how do I design viral pins? Which hashtags do I use? And what about Pinterest SEO? And how do I schedule and automate my Pinterest marketing so I can do it in a matter of minutes and not hours? And where can I find a trusted place to learn about any new updates to the Pinterest platform so that I'm not left in the dust when something changes? These are all great questions, but don't worry, I've got answers. I'm going to answer how you can get all of those questions answered in just a moment. But remember that you can majorly increase your traffic and your audience in a matter of weeks or months if you use Pinterest strategically. For 2 years, my email list was completely stagnant. And now, thanks to Pinterest, it's growing by thousands of new subscribers per month. And remember that my proven methods are things that anyone in any industry, business, or blog can implement. And remember that there's still so much more to teach you if you want the fastest growth possible. I can't believe we've already been together for an hour. I feel like we've gone through so much, and yet there's still so much more that I want to tell you about this platform. So I want to introduce you to Pinfinite Growth. Now, Pinfinite Growth is a step-by-step formula and online program that shows you exactly how to radically and quickly get more traffic and subscribers for your website. But don't just take it from me. Here's a post one of my Pinfinite Growth students, she posted in our student Facebook community. And she said, it's been almost 6 months since I've joined Pinfinite Growth, and I cannot put into words how much this has helped my blog. I've enrolled in ListSearch as well. Joining Melissa's courses have been one of the smartest decisions I've taken in my life. So really sweet words from Mitra. Now, here's what to do on your page right now. You should see a button that looks a little something like this. This is going to take you to where you can check out Pinfinite Growth and enroll in the program. But I'm also going to give you a 30-day money-back guarantee because I genuinely believe in this program. I put my heart and soul into it. I put years of research and data into this program, so I know it works. So I'm going to give you 30 days of a money back guarantee where you can go through the system, implement my strategies, and if you don't like it, we'll give you a full refund, no hassle. Now, you might ask yourself, what makes Pinfinite Growth different from other Pinterest courses out there? Well, a few reasons. So, number one is that almost 8,000 students have gone through this program. That's a lot of people. I don't know many people who have 8,000 people in their online courses, period. And Pinfinite Growth has that many students inside of this program. So that means that we have access to tons of data, tons of people who have gone through this program and have showed us what works and what doesn't work for them. We've got lots of case studies from people who have used my Pinfinite Growth strategies and who have told me what has worked really well and what needs tweaking. And we've used that to revamp the course to make sure that it speaks to you wherever you are. We also have a huge community to get advice from. So something I'm going to tell you about in just a moment is our student Facebook group, where we have over 4,000 Pinfinite Growth students inside who are constantly asking questions, giving advice, talking about the latest strategies. It is like, honestly, I feel like this course is worth it just to have access to that Facebook group because it is so poppin' and so on point if you want to find the best and latest Pinterest information. I also work one-on-one with top entrepreneurs through my Pinterest agency, where I get a lot of data and testing as well. So I get to work behind the scenes in people's businesses on Pinterest marketing. And that allows me to experiment with new things. It allows me to see firsthand what works and what doesn't work with our clients, and then take that knowledge and apply it to our Pinfinite Growth program and what I teach inside of the course. I also have direct contacts at Pinterest and Tailwind to ask about algorithm changes, any updates, best practices, to make sure that I'm giving you the best information possible. And there are frequent updates to this course with the latest changes to the platform. And the most recent update was June 2019. I actually updated it last week. So it is completely up to date with all of the newest Pinterest strategies. So here's what you're going to get inside of Pinfinite Growth. We've got 8 step-by-step course modules talking about all that you need to know about Pinterest, literally everything that would be helpful to you. Things like how to get clear on your niche and target audience for best results, how to completely optimize your profile boards and pins with Pinterest SEO, that's search engine optimization, how to get traffic even with no followers, even if you're starting completely from scratch on Pinterest using group boards and Tailwind tribes, my personal pinning schedule, step by step. This is one of my favorite things that I recently added to the course. How to schedule and automate on Pinterest in minutes per week, using Pinterest to grow your email list and sales, how to get your pins to show up first for your followers, so very first in those search results, and how to design viral pins that attract the most traffic to your website. So this is just like the tip of the iceberg of the things that I teach you inside of Pinfinite Growth. There's so much more that I go in depth on. But these are some of my favorite topics inside the course. But just trust that if you want to use Pinterest to get traffic to your website, you will learn exactly what you need to know inside of this program. We also have bi-weekly mastermind calls with our community coaches inside of our Facebook groups. This is totally optional, but really fun and helpful. I've also got a downloadable course workbook for you inside of Pinfinite Growth, and you'll have lifetime access to all of the class materials with any regular updates that I make to the program. So when Pinterest changes, Pinfinite Growth changes, and we'll send you an email to let you know what's changed inside of the course. So again, it's been completely updated in June 2019, just about a week ago. And of course, you're going to get my entire step-by-step system trusted by almost 8,000 Pinfinite Growth students. These are a couple comments that I just received recently from some students in Pinfinite Growth who just went through the new updates of the course. This is Marissa on the top. She said, I just checked out some of the updated lessons, and the lesson about Melissa's personal pin routine and the spreadsheet is gold. Already started using the spreadsheet and planning my pins in a new way. Thank you. And then Sandra said, the new updates are fantastic. I understood some things in a new way that I've never quite gotten before. I think it'll make a big difference for me. So love seeing this. And I think the new updates are going to be just as helpful and beneficial for you too. All right, so by the end of Pinfinite Growth, you will have consistent, organic, meaning free traffic coming to your website on autopilot, new email subscribers signing up for your list on a daily basis, and the foundation for a seriously profitable, successful, and fun business or blog. These are my goals for you. This is what I designed this program with in mind. So I want to introduce you to some of Pinfinite Growth students who have just gone through the program, implemented it, and did a fantastic job getting results on Pinterest. So these are Christina and Christelle. They are sustainability teachers. Now they went from 22,000 to 1 million monthly viewers on Pinterest. Now they are one of the leaders in zero waste and sustainability on Pinterest. So talk about a topic that you would think wouldn't work well on Pinterest, and they have 1 million monthly viewers on Pinterest who are engaging with their stuff. This is Marlon. She is a bilingual virtual assistant. She went from 100 to 12,000 page views on her website in a few months, and now her traffic averages 800 to 1,000 users per day. This is Kayla. She saw her stats increase from day one of implementing the program. And then she had a pin go viral with less than 20 blog posts on her website. She said it brought in a tidal wave of traffic. And she also said that you start seeing progress almost immediately, which is something I hear from a lot of my students, that maybe it's not going to be like a skyrocket on day one, but you will start to see things kick in. And over time, things are just going to grow and grow and grow. So that's always really encouraging. This is Celine. She said in 30 days that her engagement on Pinterest increased by almost 15x. So just in the first month, her engagement really just skyrocketed. And then her traffic to her site tripled in the first month of using Pinterest. And within 8 weeks, her traffic grew by 6x. And she's getting consistent subscribers, and she's seeing a boost in her online sales, all from Pinterest. So I've got a few bonuses that I want to offer to you when you enroll in Pinfinite Growth. I love to just give you everything that you would need in order to get results from this program. I want you to feel like you have a one-stop shop for getting traffic to your website. I really do. So bonus number 1 is your Pinfinite system checklist. So this is a step-by-step checklist of everything that you need to do to implement to get results on Pinterest. Now, this is a comment from one of my Pinfinite Growth students, Dina. She said, my left brain logical mind is loving Melissa's new checklist. Yay, I love hearing that. Bonus number 2 is professionally designed viral pin templates. So I brought in my personal designer, and she designed some absolutely gorgeous pin templates that you can use on Pinterest. All you have to do is just plug in your own text for your blog post or your product, put in maybe your own photo if you want, and that's about it. You just can use these templates. You can change the colors if you want to. You can change the fonts if you want, but they are designed with going viral in mind and really working well on Pinterest in mind. And I think that they're really beautiful. You can kind of see them here in this image, but they are really beautiful templates that are just designed to work super well on Pinterest. Bonus number 3 is a bonus workshop about how to maximize your Pinterest traffic with promoted pins. So promoted pins are Pinterest version of ads. So you can use ads to get even better results on Pinterest. It's absolutely not necessary. And everything that I teach in Pinfinite Growth is completely a free model of getting organic traffic. But if you want a more advanced strategy for people who are watching this who already have a foundational level of Pinterest knowledge, this is your next step, this workshop. Another bonus workshop you're going to get is the ultimate guide to growing your traffic on Google. Now, this is taught by Brendan Hufford, who's an SEO strategist. He helps people get traffic to their website using Google. So I think if you're going to get traffic to your website on Pinterest, why not just double up and get traffic from another one of the best search engines out there? So he's coming in and he created this amazing workshop just to teach you all about how to get traffic with Google as well. So there's some really easy things that you can implement in order to get that free traffic coming in from those Google search results too. Another workshop that you're going to get as a bonus is how to get the most out of Tailwind Tribes and a feature that they have called Smart Loop. So both of these workshops are included. Those are a $500 value, and they're going to be really helpful for you going in depth on some of the biggest features inside of Tailwind, which is one of my favorite, or not one of my, it is my favorite Pinterest scheduler. It's the only one I use and recommend to my students and clients. And then, of course, bonus number 6, you're going to get 3 free months of that scheduler, Tailwind, which just makes it so easy to get even better results on Pinterest. And then finally, bonus number 7, $400 value, is access to our private student Facebook community with over 4,000 members and tons of engagement. So again, this is the place to be if you ever have a question about Pinterest, you want to talk shop and strategy, you want to get feedback on your pin designs, your descriptions, your keywords, you have a question. We've got our community coaches and myself inside of this Facebook group to make sure that your questions get answered. But like I said at the beginning of this workshop, I want to reward you for showing up to this webinar and for sticking around until the end. I know that you have other things that you could be doing, but I'm proud of you for being here until the end. So if you enroll before this webinar ends, I am throwing in another bonus for free. Now, that is what I like to call a fast action bonus. It's just for people who sign up while we are live on this workshop. So the fast action bonus is a custom Pinterest audit and laser coaching session, but it's only available if you purchase live on this workshop. So we're going to do a really cool group call with some of our Pinterest strategists who are going to look at your Pinterest profile a couple months after you have time to go through the Pinfinite Growth program. And they're going to look at your profile, your pins, your keywords, and give you targeted feedback on what you could do better, what tweaks you could make to get even better results. So this is going to just really help you hone in even more on what you could be doing to get the best results on Pinterest. And the total value of the Pinfinite Growth program and the bonuses is about $2,500. But you can get started today for only $97, followed by 4 more monthly payments of $97 each. So here is what to do. Enrollment for Pinfinite Growth is only open until Thursday, June 20th. You'll see that somewhere on your screen, and there should be a button right below it. Now you can click on that button to check out the program and to enroll. Now, again, you've got a 30-day money back guarantee. So you can buy this program risk-free, knowing that you can have a full refund if it doesn't work out. Now, I've had successful students who are coaches, course creators, designers, nutritionists, all these different types of businesses and content creators, and it's worked really well for all of these different types of people. So I know that Pinterest is going to work well for you too. So get out of your head and just understand how powerful this program can be. So if you want to get more visitors and traffic to your site, quickly grow your number of email subscribers, get more sales with less effort, then I'll see you inside Pinfinite Growth. So here's everything that you get when you enroll now. You get the entire Pinfinite Growth system and program, your Pinterest system checklist, the pro-designed viral pin templates, the promoted pins workshop, growing your traffic on Google workshop, getting the most out of Tailwind Tribes and Smart Loop workshops, 3 free months of Tailwind, private student Facebook community with over 4,000 members. And if you enroll before this timer that I'm about to start runs out, before we sign off today, you'll also get the custom Pinterest laser coaching session. So I'm going to start the timer and we are going to do some Q&A. So if you've got questions about Pinterest, about Pinfinite Growth, about growing your traffic, whatever it is, let me know. Leave a question in the chat below and I will answer it live right now. All right. And thank you to everyone who has stuck around until the end here. I really appreciate you. And I'm excited to do some Q&A right now. All right. So Christy says, is this course for me if I have never been on Pinterest? Yes, it is. So it doesn't matter if you've never been on Pinterest before. So like I said, we have 8 modules in the program. The first couple of modules are more geared towards getting your foundation set, getting your niche in place, understanding how to create amazing content on your website before you even come to Pinterest, really just getting your whole brand in a good place before we even start talking about Pinterest strategies. So if you've never used Pinterest before, that's fine. A lot of our students are new to the platform or haven't really put a lot of effort into it. So that's completely fine. I wouldn't let that hold you back. Everything that you need to know is inside of this program. And we also have the Facebook community where you can ask questions. So you'll be totally fine. All right, so great question. How is this different from your Blog to BizHive course? So Blog to BizHive is about how to grow your traffic, how to grow your email list, what to send your email list, and then how to create and launch an online course. So it's a very in-depth program. It takes quite a bit of time to go through. And the ultimate goal of that program is to create and launch an online course. That program sells for $1,000. So it's more than double the price of Pinfinite Growth. And it has a very different goal. So that program is more for creating and selling an online course and how to get some traffic and an email list before you're able to do that. Pinfinite Growth is more targeted. It's more specific to growing your traffic to your website and then using that traffic to grow your email list. So it's more about growing your audience, whereas Blog to BizHive is more about growing your sales. So it depends where you're at right now. If you're more in the stage where you want to start making money, you've already got some people in your community, you're willing to spend that $1,000 to invest in that program, Blog to BizHive might be the best fit for you. But if you're really in the stage where you want to grow your audience, you want to get more traffic to your website, you want more people reading your stuff, seeing your products, and audience building and traffic and email list is your main focus right now, Pinfinite Growth is probably going to be the best fit for you. So we do briefly talk about Pinterest inside of Blog to BizHive, but it's nowhere near as in depth as what you're going to get inside of Pinfinite Growth. So hopefully that explains the differences, but let me know if I can help answer anything else for you. Christy says, you can drive traffic with Pinterest with only spending an hour a week. Is that a myth or reality? So that is a reality, actually. There is some upfront work that I teach inside of Pinfinite Growth that you would need to do. So that would have you spend more than an hour a week. You'd have to do like a concerted effort to set up your Pinterest, to set up your pins, to set up your pin descriptions. But after that, once you're all done with setting everything up, which will take a few hours and some real effort to do, then you've got everything just good to go. And it will take an hour a week, if honestly, probably less than that, to schedule everything that I teach you inside of the program. But it is really more time to get it set up. I'm a huge fan of creating systems and batching things. So just batching all of the same tasks in a row, just so for efficiency. So I teach you how to do that inside Pinfinite Growth, how to get your whole system set up so that it only takes you like 30 minutes a week, if that. Probably more like an hour, hour and a half a month. Okay. So for the question about, will the course be available after Thursday or is it completely closed? So what happens on Thursday the 20th is that all of these bonuses you see here are going to be expiring. So if you enrolled in Pinfinite Growth after this workshop or after the 20th, then you're not going to be able to get all these bonuses that we're giving you with the program. So that's really the exciting thing here, is that if you enroll by the end of this workshop in the next 10 minutes, you're going to get all of those bonuses and the custom laser coaching session. And then if you enroll by the 20th, then you'll get all of these bonuses that you see on your screen, not the laser coaching session, but everything else. If you enroll after that, then unfortunately you won't get all of these extra bonuses. So that's kind of what's at stake here, but hopefully that makes sense for you. And another question, if you're already a member who bought the Blog to BizHive course, can you purchase Pinfinite Growth anytime or only during the Thursday, only before Thursday? You can, but again, the bonuses will be expiring. So you won't get all of these fabulous extra workshops and templates and all that good stuff, software, all those things. Okay. Okay. So Marissa says, and I hear this from a lot of people before they enroll in Pinfinite Growth, actually. She said, I started from 0 and was able to grow my Pinterest monthly views to 32,000 in a couple of months. Although some views transfer to my blog, it's not a lot. How can I make the number of monthly views convert into better blog site views? So here's a problem that I get from a lot of people before they enroll in Pinfinite Growth. They have some monthly viewers on their Pinterest. They've got some engagement on Pinterest, but that engagement is not transferring into traffic on their website. So that's an issue, right? Because obviously you don't just want to grow your Pinterest. You want to get those people to come over to your website. So the problem that a lot of people make is they don't pin very much of their own content. And Marissa, you can tell me what the ratio is or how much you pin. But in Pinfinite Growth, I give you more of the formula of what you should be pinning every day and how much of it should be your own content. So a vast majority of what you pin on Pinterest should be your own content. And you should be pinning consistently every single day in order to get people to your website. So if you're pinning a lot of other people's stuff, then that might grow your monthly viewers on Pinterest, but it's obviously not going to translate into very many new visitors on your website because you're not pinning that much of your own content. So you definitely want to be pinning your own content. Now, there are some other things that you can do to get that traffic and those viewers to translate into actual visitors on your website. Things like adding a call to action on your pin. So literally like a button, something that looks like a button on your pin, like something that says learn more or click here, or has a graphic of the lead mag that you're giving away. There's also something called carousel pins, which is the same thing as if you're on Instagram, where you can swipe between photos if somebody uploads multiple photos into one Instagram feed post. So a carousel pin is where you can upload multiple images for one pin, so people can actually scroll through. What I like to do for those is to add a call to action to the final pin in my carousel, so that they end on something that has a really obvious call to action on it. So those are a few different things that you can do in order to get more traffic from those impressions on Pinterest. But that's a great question, and definitely something that we dive into inside Pinfinite Growth. Okay. B says, how many pins should we schedule per day? And should we be posting only our own pins or repinning others? So you should be posting 10 to 25 pins per day on Pinterest. And don't worry if that sounds like a lot. I give you a spreadsheet and I show you how to do that in literally like an hour and a half a month at most, and just schedule it and get it all done with. So 10 to 25 per day you should be publishing. And then yes, you should be posting mainly just your pins. Now, there is a technique to do this, to have 10 plus things to post every day, even if you don't have a lot of content or products to post. I teach you how to do that. But you do want to pin mainly your own stuff. Pinning a lot of other people's content is actually going to not send that much traffic to your website. So it is really important to pin a lot of your own content. Okay. Yeah, good question. So, somebody said you mentioned having a focus on Pinterest. So, are you suggesting that we set up a separate business profile? I have a personal Pinterest account with a variety of stuff that I want to keep. So, the cool thing is that you can just create secret boards on Pinterest. These are literally boards that are secret, that only you can see. Nobody else can see them. I have tons of secret boards that have like fashion ideas and random designs that I want to use for future websites, and just like things that I would never post on my actual Pinterest. So make secret boards and then put whatever things on those secret boards you want that you don't need your audience to see. It's not relevant to the people you're trying to attract. And yeah, so you don't have to set up a separate business account, but you do want to upgrade your Pinterest account if it's not a business profile yet. That's definitely going to be an important strategy for you, just to ensure that you've got access to all of the analytics, that you have access to things like carousel pins, and that you've got some of those special features that only business accounts have. And it's free to do that. Steph says, would this program be good for someone who's starting from ground zero when it comes to followers? Absolutely. Yeah. So it's designed with both new and advanced Pinterest users in mind. So we've got more advanced strategies on how to get really stellar results on Pinterest. If you are somebody who's more advanced, who's already got some traction on the platform, who just wants the more nitty gritty strategies. And then I've also got a lot of videos and tutorials for people who are just starting out. So I really start from ground zero for people who are starting completely fresh on the platform. And then I work my way up to the more advanced strategies. So wherever you are on Pinterest, it's going to work for you. So definitely don't worry if you're starting from scratch or you don't have any followers right now. Literally, the program's designed to help you get more followers and more people visiting your profile and following you. Okay. So got a question. What's the best suggestion you have for a brick and mortar business on Pinterest? So that'll come into play with the types of things that you pin and then the keywords that you're using. So actually, first it'll start with the content that you're creating on your website. So you still want to have blog posts on your website. It's going to be really helpful to get traffic. So get some blog posts on your website. Ideally have blog posts that are specific to where your store is, and then pin those onto Pinterest and make sure that you have keywords that are also specific to where you live. So they're really targeting people who are searching for local stuff, local businesses, local products to buy. And you can like pimp out your entire profile on Pinterest to make sure that it's very obvious that you are a local business, a brick and mortar business. So your keywords, your pins, the things that you write about on your website are all going to be really helpful and important to that strategy, but definitely Pinterest can work well for you, even with a brick and mortar business. So we're almost out of time for a Q&A. I just want to remind you again that before or once the timer runs out here, the fast action bonus is expiring. So your fast action bonus is our group Pinterest laser coaching session where a couple months after you have time to go through the program and implement everything, we're going to do some of these laser coaching sessions in a group setting where my team of Pinterest strategists is going to review your Pinterest profile and give you feedback on what you could tweak to get better results. What you could tweak on your profile, your pins, your keywords, your descriptions, your board titles, your board descriptions, your hashtags, whatever. They are going to just like dig through your profile and find the most helpful things that you could tweak to get even better results. So that's expiring in just a moment here. I'll answer one more question before we sign off. So just make sure that if you want to get in on this system to sign up before we sign off right here, so that you can get that extra bonus. Okay. All right, this is a great question to end on. So how long does it take the average student to complete all 8 modules? So you can go through the entire course in about 5 hours. So I wanted to make it something where there's still all of the information that you would need, but it's packed into just 5 hours that you can go through in one day if you wanted to. So it's about 5 hours, and then all of the bonuses are a few extra hours. So if you wanted to go through all the bonuses as well, then it would be probably about 7 to 8 hours worth of content, something that you could finish in a weekend. I love to tell my students to have a Pinfinite Growth weekend and just go through the entire course and start implementing it. So that 5 to 8 hours doesn't include implementing time. That's going to take you additional hours to actually implement everything that's in the course. But to go through the material, you can have it done in about a day. So you have access to the entire program when you enroll. So you can do a binge watch, like a Netflix binge on Pinfinite Growth too. So that is definitely an option for you. So I am going to stop sharing my screen here and come back to you guys. Make sure I got everything here. All right. It looks like we're good to go. So thank you so much for sticking around with me until the end, and welcome to Pinfinite Growth to all the new students who just enrolled. I am honored and just so excited and grateful to get to guide you through this program and help you grow your traffic and get more eyeballs on the amazing work that you do in the world. So whether you join the program or not, thank you for being here. I hope this presentation was really helpful for you. And thank you for allowing me to do what I love, which is teaching you how to do what you love. So have an amazing rest of your night, and I will catch you at my next workshop. Bye, guys.